Hello and welcome to another Tabletop Ramblings Middle-earth strategy battle game battle report Halloween special. Sigurd and Tilda, walking through the woods, have been spied by the dark denizens of Mirkwood, but they are far from alone. Having listened to the dubious counsel of Alfrid, Bard has donned his warrior's pumpkin head and is using his children as bait to hunt the famed Spider Queen. But when pumpkin and spider clash, only one will survive. Leading the hunting party is Bard atop his horse with heavy armour, and he has 10 militia with him, 7 with spear and shield, 3 with bow. And he's also accompanied by Alfrid and the bait, the 2 children, Sigurd and Tilda. And then also, out for blood, there is a captain with shield. He has 5 militia with him, 3 with spear and shield, and 2 with bow. And that is just 350 points of the survivors of Laketown. The Spider Queen, however, will not go down easily. She's ferocious and she has her 3 broodlings ready to be spat out during the course of the battle. She also has with her a Mirkwood Spider, 4 giant spiders, which are the smaller spiders, and then 8 wild wargs, and that is 350 points of dark denizens. Despite the premise of this game being all about hunting the Spider Queen, the scenario is seize the prize instead of contest of champions, which you might have been thinking. Because when there's just 2 big heroes in contest of champions, turn 1, they fight and 1 wins, and it's dull. So seize the prize, because Bard has quite literally lost his head. And it may well be this central objective. So both sides eager to claim that head, the Spider Queen to eat it, and Bard to put it back on. They are both seeking that central prize, and that is worth the majority of the victory points. There's also victory points for breaking the enemy, and of course, killing the enemy leader. Both forces set up 12 inches on and 12 inches away from the central objective, and both forces are already deployed. So we can roll for first turn priority. But before we do, Alfrid is going to use his dubious counsel special roll and roll 3 dice and absolutely bottle it on a 2+, like this one. He gives Bard a point of might, but on a 1 he takes a point of might. So now Bard has 2 might and Alfrid has 2. That is pretty much the worst possible result, other than of course 3 ones. So with that very poor start, we'll roll for priority, and it goes to good. End of the movement phase, and both forces have advanced. The Dark Denizens have just charged forward, with the Spider Queen hiding from bow fire as she has no fate and is defense 4. She's hiding behind the hill with the plants on, courtesy of IKEA. And then the wargs and horde of spiders are just running up to the objective. Bard is within range of the objective, but he and his archers wanted to get some shots off against these lightly armoured foe, especially as they are brutal in combat, so they need to thin the Dark Denizens' ranks before combat ensues, even though it means they may well have to give up the objective in the first part of the game. So we're going to the shoot phase. There are shots across, although they have all moved half. So this guy first, he's got a clean shot on the ginger warg there, but misses. That's about right. So then these 3, he's shooting over his shoulder, and those 2 in the front, just into the wargs up there. only 1 hit because they've moved, and wounding on 5s, no wound. And then the final shot from a lackey is this chap, just going into a walk up there. And he misses because he's moved. A bad decision staying back and shooting. Can Bard do any better? Bard is going to shoot that giant spider there, with him in the way on the walk. He's hitting on 4s because he's moved. And of course, he misses. A very poor round of shooting there. That is the end of the turn. So we'll roll for priority. We can find a red dice. There we go. And again, priority goes to good. With good priority, the spearmen formed a wall with some spears coming across to bolster the lines, while the archers moved half, getting up closer to the objective slowly but surely, while Bard stayed still for some rapid fire shots, taunting the dark denizens to charge him, as when he's within range of both of his kids, then he gets a free heroic combat. Evil, however, didn't take the bait, and they just spread out all along the line. They've not put their terror spiders on the front, so it's easy for them to get charged. That could have been a mistake, but equally, they are much less powerful in combat than those spiders, so they need to be protected from bow fire. And if good get priority yet again and charge, then the spiders should be able to loop around as they can move 10 inches. The spider here tried to pick up the objective, but failed. It has to be a 4 plus on the dice, and it was a 1. So the objective is still unclaimed, which is definitely a good result for the pumpkin-headed Bard and his hunters. So there are shots, and we'll do those now. We have 3 archers who moved here, and they are going to be firing into the Spider Queen with 2 in the ways. Can they hit? 2 hits, that's good, especially as they moved. So in the ways, a 2 and a 3, they both hit that warg. Probably should have done those separately, but there we go. Especially as that is overkill. There we are. But speed is often better than getting extra wounds. So then these 2 are going to fire. They're just going to fire onto that spider. In fact, no, on the giant spider, on the Mirkwood Spider rather, as it's got no in the ways. But they both miss. Then Bard is going to fire at the Spider Queen. He's not moved, so he's hitting on 4s. That's a 6. Big tabletop rambling 6. He's got his rapid fire bow. So any hits, he gets to roll an extra shot up to a maximum of 3. But a 1. He's very good at rolling 1s to hit, so he has missed. So in the way for the Mirkwood Spider. He hits the Mirkwood Spider. Does he wound it? No. Even with his big strength 2 bow, he doesn't wound there. That is a poor showing from Bard. If he was 6 might super Bard, if Alfrid's counsel had been any good, he might have burnt a bit of might on that. But when he's only got 2, he's just going to call it there, and that's the end of the shoot phase. Evil have a shot. This spider here has a web that will paralyze Bard, so he's going to fire it on a 6 because he's moved, but it's just a 2. So that is no hits. That's the end of the turn. We'll roll for priority. And it's a draw, so this time it goes to the Spiders of Mirkwood. After some deliberation, Alfrid, who stole 2 points of might from Bard, is not going to call a heroic move. He'd have been able to move up there, get these guys in, but then they could have been counter-charged. It would have been quite messy. And the golden thing, which they were trying to do, is to stop the Spider Queen from getting in. But because these can't be tagged, she can just move over that terrain and still get into combat. So the forces of evil will move first. First things first then in the move phase, this Mirkwood Spider is going to charge in on Bard and shoot its web, which is a throwing weapon. So there's no penalty for moving into combat. So it's a 5 to hit, and this will paralyze Bard. And it's a 5. Bard is paralyzed. Now he can try and resist with Fate. So he's going to resist, and I'm assuming it's just like normal fate where you can choose how many you roll depending on whether you fail them. So the first one is a fail. The second fate is a fail. Oh, does he waste all his might? No, he's going to risk it with his last fate. 2 and 3. Oh dear, bad. He's going to use his point of might along with 3 points of fate, leaving him with no fate and 1 might. And the spider charges in. Oh dear me, bad. That was pathetic. He's obviously struggling without his head. That pumpkin is not cutting the mustard. End of the movement phase, and the spiders have charged in. Bard having been abused. We then have the Spider Queen coming ready to hurl into him, and a couple of other spiders. Both of these archers failed their courage tests to charge in against that one, as they are only courage 3, which is not so good. These poor little survivors of Laketown. Up here, the archers moved half to try and get some shots, and the captain moved around as he has will and is a higher courage, so he's hopefully going to be able to charge in and do something next turn. The Dark Denizens failed yet again to pick up the objective, and all around it now there are some wargs and spiders, just to make sure that they've got another couple of turns of taking a go at picking up the objective before Bard can wade in, if he ever manages to roll high enough to do that. So there will be some shots. This guy that didn't move has in the ways for combats, but this chap does have a clean shot at that spider. Even though he failed a courage test to charge, he can still shoot. So he misses. He's obviously got jelly legs and they're wobbling too much. Then these two, who did move, hitting on 5s, same target, that spider. Can they kill it? It is only defense 3 or 4, we'll double check. And they are strength 2, so needing 5s, 1 wound. So that's a wound on that spider. We'll put a marker on that. We'll find something better in a moment. That's all the shooting, and we'll go into the combat phase. So into the combat phase, and Bard is calling a heroic combat for free because of the presence of his bait, his kids, and the Spider Queen is also calling a heroic combat because she wants to go first and hurl this poor chap into Bard and along the line. So we'll roll off to see which heroic is going first. 1, 2, 3, it's evil, and it's evil. Bard has absolutely no luck, which is unfortunate, as I'll be taking an 800 point version of Spooky Bard to a Halloween tournament that's this weekend, actually, when this video comes live. So hopefully he does better then. So Bard has not gone first with his heroic. Spider Queen is 2 attacks, 3 on the charge. We'll let the 2 spearmen fight her off, see if they can set a high bar. The 2 is cocked. Is it going to be a 1? Oh, it's a 6. That puts a little bit of pressure on the Spider Queen. A 5. She is going to spend a point of might. She's going to go down to 1 might left to win that fight, which means she then gets to hurl this poor chap into Bard. She hurls D3, so that's 2 inches plus the strength difference. And she is, I believe, strength 6, so he's going to go absolutely miles. We'll just double check her strength, find out exactly who he's going to knock over, and we'll come back. So the strength difference is 3, as she is indeed a strength of 6, and the chap is a strength 3, plus the 2, it's going 5 inches, which puts him just there, in between those archers and co, so it'll hit that fight and all of those guys. Takes Bard off his horse and loads of people. So first of all, does he die? This is the strong strength 6 hit. Yes, he's dead. So we don't need to bother with all of the other ones, and we can just grab him. And then he hits a lot of people. So 1 and 2, just wherever they land. Neither of them die. There's 1 on the spider. No wound there. And then Bard In fact, we'll use red dice for these. It's evil attacks. So Bard is taking 2, 1 for being hit and 1 for being forcibly dismounted. No wounds. He's prone. The spider that he's facing takes a wound. Strength 3 on defense 3. We'll have to double check their defense, dear me. You can tell that I've not used Dark Denizens before. We then hit that archer there. Use red dice. He is dead. It also hit the archer in combat, who is dead, dear me. And it hit that spider there, who doesn't take a wound. So Dark Denizens definitely getting off quite lightly there. Although the 2 spiders have been knocked prone. In fact, 3 spiders. That one is prone as well. We'll put prone markers on everything that's fallen. We'll check the defense of those spiders, and we'll put a dismount down for Bard. So with all the prone markers on, we're going to use green for prone, although Bard doesn't have one because we've run out, but we'll remember that one. And then yellow are wounds, because some of these multi-wound spiders, they've all got 2 wounds. They have started taking some wounds, so we'll mark those off with yellow. The Spider Queen, after that successful heroic combat, because she killed the chap that she was fighting, as an added bonus, gets to move again. And this has been pre-measured. She can run, oh dear, it snapped her leg off, I think. She can run up the tree, down and in, which we'll do in a second, into Alfrid the Council. Let's see if we can do it. Negotiating round while filming. There we are. So she is in on Alfrid. Alfrid has 2 points of might, so if she kills him, then that really does hurt the survivors. So that is the end of her heroic combat. Bard actually does have a heroic combat, although he's prone, so we won't be able to make strikes and won't be able to win that fight. He's fighting against a 2-attack spider, and he does win. He wins on fight value. So the spider is pushed back and Bard stands up. This fight has ceased to exist because the guys that were fighting the spider have died. And then we have this one here. We have 4 on a prone spider there. So the spearmen will be able to fight. So they're looking to win, and they do on the 6. So that is a prone spider. So it's double strikes. So it's 4 dice to win. That's the 2 spearmen with double strikes. So wounding on 4s. Oh, dear me. Even defense 3, those spiders, they only put 1 wound on that spider, who backs away, and then we'll put a yellow marker on. However, the spider is still prone, so that's still a bit of a bonus. And then the only remaining combat is the Spider Queen against Alfrid. We'll let Alfrid set the bar. He's unarmed, 1 attack, so it's -1. So that's a 2 down to a 1. So the Spider Queen automatically wins because she has a higher fight value. So rolling to wound, she has, in fact, she's got 3 attacks doubled. So we'll do them one at a time. So the first double strike, that's a wound. Re-rolling failed wounds. No, so 1 wound, 2, 3 wounds. There's nothing that Alfrid can do about that. And Alfrid dies, holding on to 2 of Bard's might. That is a big, big blow. And she's also ready to run rampant through the back lines. This is a sticky situation here for Pumpkin Bard. Let's roll for turn 4, possibly, priority. And it does go to Bard. Small blessings there. We'll come back in the move phase. Just while we're sticking the Spider Queen's leg back on, just like to say, please like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Thank you. Start of the movement phase, and the Spider Queen is going to call a heroic move. There's a lot of spiders prone there, so they want to get in and up, and importantly, she wants to charge, and she wants to eat the bait. Bard, using his last point of might, is going to counter, so that will be no might on the Spider Queen or Bard. So only the captain will have might. We'll roll off 1, 2 or 3. It goes to evil. Oh, it's cocked. And it's a 5. So it goes to Bard. Bard and friends able to stand and charge. With some very poor courage rolls, a lot of the survivors stood around and did nothing, quaking in their boots. Bard managed to charge into the Spider Queen. One of the prone guys got into combat, the other one is still cowering. The guy behind him failed a courage test. These guys managed to form a bit of a wall with one going in on that spider. The archer managed to get in, but the spears failed. And the younger of Bard's daughters has charged that prone spider. At least for a turn, she's safe as that spider is prone. And this gap here is too small for one of the big 40mm bases to get through. So at the moment, she is still fairly safe. This one tried to do the same, but failed. That is the heroic move done. It's now the Dark Denizens move phase. End of the movement phase, and it is a big barroom brawl at the moment. The wargs have charged into this line, allowing this warg to help out the prone spider. Here, there's 2 on the captain, just to make a heroic combat a little bit less likely, while the wounded spider has gone in on 2 archers. And then, importantly, up here, the giant spider has yet again failed to pick up the objective. 8 arms, and yet unable to pick up that head. That is fairly poor show there from the Dark Denizens. There's going to be no shooting, as all of the archers and their targets are in combat. So we'll go into the combat phase. And because this game is on a knife edge, the captain is going to call a heroic combat, and so is Bard, simply because his heroic combat is free. So we'll do the captains first. The captain and friend against the 2 charging wargs. And it goes to good. That's a good sign there. So the captain will need 4s, strength 4 on defense 4, and the spearman will need 5s. And that's both wargs dead. That is a good result there for the survivors. And then, well within 6 is the spider that the kid is fighting. But he does need to take a courage test. He's courage 4. And he passes. He runs in and he's now fighting close to the objective, and it's a prone spider as well. That is a nice little bit of luck there for the survivors of Laketown. The spearman, who was spear supporting, is unable to move with the heroic combat, but he just helped out to win and kill. Then the next heroic combat is the long shot, which is Bard against the Spider Queen. They are even fight value, because Bard gets +1 to his fight value when he's in range of the kids. So they're both fight value 6. Bard has 3 attacks. The Spider Queen has 2 and wins. Bard has lost the fight and he is getting rendered. In fact, no, he's just getting normally attacked, because you get wounded on 4s, but they are re-rollable with venom. And that's 1 wound, re-rollable. No, so just 1 wound on Bard, who fails his heroic combat and takes a wound. And he is out of fate. So that is a wound, and that is victory points for evil. That is not good for the survivors. We have more combats though. We have these 2 archers on the spider. The spider is wounded, but wins. The archers are in range of Bard for his inspirational banner, which has potentially won the fight. I'll just double check the spider's fight value though. I have a sneaky suspicion that the giant spiders are fight 4. Yes, the giant spiders are fight 4, strength 5 beasts. So rolling to wound each of them. One of them, oh in fact no, neither of them die. Does have venom, so it can re-roll. Still no kills, and they back away. Then we have this prone spider against 2. And it's a draw, but again, winning on fight value means that this spider In fact, the archer backs away. The spider doesn't back away, but it does stand up, scuttling back to its many feet. We'll then do we'll do this prone Mirkwood Spider. That's only a fight 2 spider, so we'll easily win the draw for the forces of good. The spider obviously on red, the captain on the tabletop ramblings, and then the unarmed child in green. And it goes to the captain there. So rolling to wound. The child will need 4s up to 5, strength 3 on defense 3. Ooh, not quite. And then the captain will need 4s. Oh, that is not good. Not good at all. If he piercing struck, it would have been 3s. That was foolish to forget that the base profile for a captain has an axe. And that spider lives to fight another day. Oh, or does it? Because it's double strikes against prone enemies. So the kid still fails. Can the captain do it? Yes. Wiping out that Mirkwood Spider. And importantly, freeing up some more of those loom band markers. We then have 3 on that chap there. And he doesn't have the fight value. So he is going to shield. And he wins it, shielding. In fact, with double 5s, he should have gone brave, and he might have been able to kill that prone spider. But there we go. He pushes them back, and the spider is still prone. We then have a series of 1-on-1s here, and it goes to good, needing a 5. No wound. We then have the final fight, a 1-on-1. It goes to evil, but there is Bard's Banner, which wins the fight. And gets a kill. There we go. The inspirational bard who's rolled pants all game and has no head manages to inspire one of his hunters to get a kill. That's the end of the turn. Both forces taking some casualties now. Let's roll for priority. And it goes to evil. This could get messy. With his last point of might, the captain is going to call a heroic move, but in a probably very foolish move, he is not calling with me. And he's not even going to charge. Instead, he's going to run up to the objective and he's going to try and pick it up. Can he get it on a 4+? Yes! He has Bard's head. He's done what the spider could not. He has the objective, and now it is Dark Denizens' move. And hopefully they will be unable to completely rip that captain apart and simply take the objective from his cold and dead hands. With good having the objective, the forces of evil are going to be eager to kill that captain. But first, the Spider Queen is charging into combat. She is going in on Bard, but on her way in, she's using all 3 of her will to summon her broodlings, which spawn within 3 inches of her and then get to do a full 10-inch move, allowing them to charge in all along this line and pick on the survivors from behind. And as well, it gets them out before she dies, as she is now fighting Bard yet again. And then we'll come back with the rest of their move. With the chitter of spider feet and the snarls of wargs, the captain has been surrounded, and pretty much all of the forces of good have been engaged. Spearmen managed to spear support, and down here as well, one is spear supporting Bard's kid, the other supporting Bard, and then this archer failed a courage test. But generally, everything in combat, and it's going to be a nasty, nasty turn. With evil priority, they're going to want to try and kill the kids and reduce Bard's power. If one dies, then he can no longer call heroic combats, and if both die before that combat, he'll drop to fight of 5, so the Spider Queen will win. However, start of the combat, Bard can call a free heroic combat, so he's going to ensure that the kids are alive when he's fighting the Spider Queen. So this time the Spider Queen has 3 dice because she is on the charge, but Bard has a spear support. So rolling for this combat, the Spider Queen. Oh, the Spider Queen does it. much better than Bard, but the spear support gets the draw. That is a big result there. And then the roll off, 1, 2 or 3, the Spider Queen wins and Bard is toast. But on a 4+, he wins. Oh, it's a 2. The Spider Queen wins and she's going to sink her fangs into Bard. Bard, who has 2 wounds left. She is wounding on 4s. She re-rolls all failed wounds. That's cocked. So she's done a wound, re-rolling failed wounds. And there on her first double strikes, she kills Bard, taking down the Survivors of Laketown leader. And importantly, taking out that 12-inch banner that the army bonus gives them. The Spider Queen there really showing who's boss in this fight. That captain regretting going after the objective, as it could well have cost them the game. We then have 2-on-1. The forces of the survivors really need to break the Dark Denizens. These 3 broodlings don't count towards breakpoint, so they only need to kill 4 Dark Denizens to break them. They could, because they've won that fight, wounding on 5s, and they're 1 kill closer. That wall goes down. We'll then do the 1-on-1 here. Oh, it goes to evil, only on a 3, if only Bard was alive. And the Warg fails to kill, rolling the wrong coloured dice there. So the Warg has failed to kill. We'll then do Bard's Kid against the Spider. And we'll do Bard's Kid in the Tabletop Ramblings dice. Oh, gutted. -1 for being unarmed. The Spider has won, putting 2 wounds into the child. That has done 2 wounds, wounding on 3s against those low defense children. She does have fates. If she has 2, we'll just roll. She'd fail 1 anyway, so she is dead. She's either got 1 or 2, but either way, she is dead. And it's looking grave now for the survivors of Laketown. We'll do the captain last. We'll do this one here. It's another 1 and a child against just a 1 attack, fight 2 broodling. The child wins the fight on the draw there because her friend is a higher enough fight value. So then rolling to wound, the child will need 4s up to 5s and kills. Yes, the unarmed children getting kills, getting more kills in fact than Bard, which is impressive or distressing depending on which side of that you're on. We then have a 1-on-1 and it goes to evil, but no kill. Oh dear. The spearman there backing away, it's a large inch. We then have a 1-on-1 and it goes to good. And it's a kill. There we go, ripping those broodlings apart, but unfortunately the broodlings don't count towards the break. So then we have a 2-on-2, that unwounded Spider against 1 and a spear support. The Spider wins, and then the Spider, looking just for 4s, annihilates that bowman. Absolutely slaughtered. We've then got a 1-on-2. And the bowman's going to stab, foolishly, although probably going to die anyway. That 3, not quite enough, but re-rolling failed wounds with the venom, and they are dead. And that is a very nasty set of combats that has really turned the tables. But it is not the last one. The captain shielding with that objective against all manner of nasty gribblies. The Spider and 2 Wargs have 4 attacks and get the 6. And the captain, with Bard being dead, is only fight 3. Because Bard, not only is he a 12-inch banner, but he's a 12-inch fight value buff. So the captain has lost. He's trapped. So it's double strikes from the Wargs. And it's 4 on defense 6, so needing 5s from the Wargs. That's 2. Does he pass his fate? No. So one of those wargs, we'll give it to the armoured one, has taken the objective. And that is disaster for the survivors. While we're here, we'll roll for priority, see if the survivors can do anything. They do get priority. Let's see if they can turn this around. End of the movement phase, and both forces are one off break. The forces of good managed to only fail one courage test to charge as well, which was impressive considering their score, their history, whatever word, so far. They've done very poorly, and yet this turn they managed to charge quite a lot with just one failing. Across, they've just charged everything. They've tried valiantly to get some traps and just to break the enemy, because this warg is now in their table half and running for the board edge, which will net maximum points. The spearman here managed to charge the Spider Queen, and he's got a spear support. They're hoping to put a wound on her, try and get some more victory points. Survivors now just praying that they can break the enemy and that the objective carrier can run away. So no shooting, we'll go into combat, and we'll do the kid first. Unarmed against a 1 attack spider. She wins, wounding on 4s up to 5. And she kills. Oh, knocking it to a 6. She has killed another spider. What an absolute legend. She has 2 kills, which is 2 more than Bard. We then have these 2 on the Spider Queen. Spider Queen wins, and she is going to, she's just going to eat one. And she doesn't, but they are both re-rollable with venom, and that 6 gets the kill. So she eats him, getting the survivors to their break point. We then have a 2-on-2 here, the 2 attack spider, but only 1 wound against 2. Wins on fight value. Then it eats the archer. That's a bad result for the survivors. This survivor is going to shield because it can't kill the spider, although irrelevant when you roll like a potato and then get eaten for your troubles. Strength 5, defense 5, wounding on 4s. The spiders are lethal. We then have a 1-on-1 against a wounded spider, so he is going to fight it. It's 2 attack spider, 1 attack, lower fight value, but brave survivor. Oh, 1s across the board, but the survivor's fight value is pants and he loses. Then the spider, wounding on 4s, eats him for breakfast. Survivors now well and truly broken, having lost 4 already this turn. We then have this 1-on-1 because the warg is trapped, and it is good priority, but it goes to the warg, and then the warg, cocked, doesn't eat him. He nearly did, but that 5 was cocked. Then a 1-on-1, it goes to the warg, who kills him. Oh, this is just a massacre now. And then another 1-on-1. In fact, it's 2 because it's a spider. 2 attacks, winning the fight on a 2 high, just embarrassing the survivors of Laketown, and kills him. And that is savage. The survivors, with just 5 left, are very, very close to being quartered, but are not quite there. So this will go on 1 more turn, and priority goes to good. There's going to be quite a lot of people running away. There is, however, a hero. What's her stand fast like? 11! She is awesome. She's very, very brave. She's going to charge the wounded spider. She's brave enough to do it. Oh, a 5! She's got a point of will. She's getting in. She's in there. She is going to kill that spider. We'll do the rest of the movement off camera. The increasingly brave warriors of Laketown, those survivors, he passed his courage test to stay because he was outside of the standfast, and passed his courage test to charge. This chap, however, didn't manage to charge, but at least he's sticking around with a standfast, and then he was countercharged quite badly there. Everything is in combat. except for the objective runner. The warg there with the objective is 1 turn away from the edge, although if just a single survivor dies, then the game will end this turn. So it's all on the survivors now to break the Dark Denizens and not lose a model, and then they could still win it. So we'll start off with this chap. He is going to shield against 3 attacks, and he loses on fight value. That is not good. He can back away, so it's not double strikes, but 5s. Strength 5 on defense 5 is 4s from the spider. Double kills him, and the hopes of Laketown are shattered. We'll then do we'll do this fight up here. It is possible that the survivors can eke out some semblance of joy, but no, not on a draw. They need to win. And ooh, double 1s fails, but re-rolling, and that is a kill. Absolutely savages him. That's a very nasty result there. We then have this fight here. It's again another 3 on 1, and he's going to fight it. Why not? In fact, he's going to stab. Ooh, he did his best. He drew the fight, but loses on fight value. So then these ones needing 4s rather, have killed him. This could be a complete tabling here as we come into the Spider Queen's fight. She's 2 attacks against a guy who stabs and loses the fight. Anything to put a wound on her, and he is dead. Farewell, Santa. Wrong holiday. Last fight. She not only needs to survive to avoid being tabled, but she needs to kill to get victory points. It's doable. She's -1, but she is very, very lethal this game. Oh, she's so close. She gets the 6, but it's -1 for being unarmed. She did the absolute best she possibly could. She is the unsung hero, but unfortunately, she's pushed back and she's getting wounded on 3s. That's 1 wound, re-rolling. Ooh, still only 1 wound. She could fake this. She can still survive. It's cocked. Ah, 3. Oh, I think she's got 2 fate. We'll check it. If she does, oh dear. She fails anyway. She is dead. The survivors are tabled. The spiders have prevailed, and the objective is being run off the board. That is a resounding Mirkwood Spider victory. With the survivors of Laketown being tabled, they have lost. They automatically lose, but victory points are still counted up, and they've lost on those 2. With the objective in evil hands and running in the good forces deployment, then they get 5 victory points for that. The forces of evil also managed to kill Bard for 2 points and 3 for breaking the enemy and being unbroken, for a whopping 10-0 victory points. That was a very decisive win for evil. And so the spiders retreat back to their lair victorious, taking with them both of Bard's heads. Sigurd and Tilda arise from the dust of battle to find their kin slaughtered, their father beheaded. They run off, wounded into the wilderness, changing their names to Cinderella and Merida. But one day, reckoning will come.